The news day continues here on One News Now. I'm Diego Castro, bringing you the biggest headlines from around the world. Hezbollah leader Syed Hassan Nasrallah is set to make a speech later today, a first since Hamas and Israel went to war. Nasrallah will make his appearance at 3 p.m. Lebanon time with a speech that's expected to be scrutinized for clues on how the group's role in the conflict might evolve. Reuters reports that many people in Lebanon have been rattled for weeks, fearing a catastrophic escalation to the conflict. Meanwhile, the White House says it is concerned about Hezbollah engaging with Israeli forces. But for now, they see no indication that the Iran-backed group is ready to go all out.
Obviously, we're concerned about continued attacks on Israeli forces there in the north, but I don't believe we've seen any indication yet specifically that Hezbollah is ready to go in full force, so we'll see what he has to say.
More and more civilians are pushed into peril in Gaza as the war between Israel and Hamas drags on. The Associated Press has this report.
As the fighting escalates, the humanitarian situation in Gaza has become catastrophic. Aid organizations say that it is getting increasingly hard to get assistance in, and it is getting harder for people to get out. Israel is advancing deeper into northern Gaza. They say that they are at the gates of Gaza City, which is the biggest city on the Gaza Strip, where Israel says Hamas has its key infrastructure, its militants, and a huge underground network of tunnels. Israel hasn't given a lot of details about the offensive and has refrained from calling it a ground invasion. However, they have acknowledged that they've sent in troops and tanks and bulldozers, as well as special forces, all accompanied by air support, into this offensive. As part of Israel's attack on Gaza, it has hit with airstrikes the Jabalia refugee camp on the outskirts of Gaza City. Israel said it did this because Hamas is using it for its operations. It is using the camp and civilians as human shields. Hamas's Ministry of Health did not give specific numbers as to how many people have been killed in recent days, but said that there have been a lot of people who have been killed and is blaming Israel for it. There have been some foreign nationals in recent days who have been able to leave through the Rafah border crossing into Egypt. Several hundred people have been able to leave. It's unclear if this crossing is going to remain open in the days to come. This is currently the only way for people to get out of Gaza.
Pope Francis visited the World War II cemetery in Italy to pay tribute to soldiers and innocent civilians on All Souls Day. The Pope made the visit with conflicts in the Middle East and Ukraine in mind. In an improvised homily during the Mass that followed, Francis made a poignant anti-war statement. He spoke about the young and innocent lives lost to war and how the ongoing conflict is similar to previous wars.
Tanti soldati che lasciano la vita lì. E questo perché sempre le guerre sono una sconfitta, sempre. Non c'è vittoria totale, no, sempre se uno vince l'altro, ma da dietro c'è la sconfitta del prezzo pagato.
We'll be back with more stories after the break. Keep it here on One News. You're still watching One News Now World. I'm Diego Castro. Chinese President Xi Jinping pays his final respects to former Premier Li Keqiang. President Xi graced the ex-premier's wake along with other members of the Communist Party's Politburo Standing Committee. The group stood in silence and took 3 bows. Former officials were also present to offer their condolences. China's flag has been lowered to half-mast across the country amid an outpouring of grief as the people's premier was cremated. Li served as premier for a decade before retiring in March and passing away from heart attack on October 27. Several world leaders gathered at the AI Safety Summit in UK, where they agreed to work together to contain potential risks posed by artificial intelligence. The details in this report by the Associated Press.
Ladies and gentlemen, front row please go off this way and the back row please go back the way
Well, the people developing this technology themselves have raised the risk that AI may pose, and it's important to not be alarmist about this. There's debate about this topic. People in the industry themselves don't agree, and we can't be certain. But there is a case to believe that it may pose risks on a scale like pandemics and nuclear war, and that's why, as leaders, we have a responsibility to act, to take the steps to protect people, and that's exactly what we're doing.
The future as a series of probabilities as opposed to certainties. There is some chance that above zero that AI will kill us all. I think it's low, but there's some chance. I think we should also consider the fragility of human civilization. And if you study history, I think you realize that there's a rise and fall to every civilization. Every civilization has sort of a lifestyle.
Here and brought forth his wallet, which he took 100 rupee currency.
And those are the top world headlines of the hour. Join us again at 9:45 a.m. as we continue to monitor the day's biggest stories. I'm Diego Castro. We are One News. All sides, all the time.